The next two videos are about phylum Annelida, and Annelida is broken into three classes. The first class, which we are looking at in this video, is Oligochaeta. General information about annelids, all three classes. We can classify annelids by the presence or the absence of one thing called CT, and CT are these little bristles, it looks like a brush. And in this picture it'd be these little hair-like structures. So some annelids have CT, some don't. Parapodia are these fleshy protrusions, so in the picture that's what the hair is sticking out of. And if you could zoom in on this worm a little bit more, you would see the fleshy protrusions along the way. So some annelids have CT, some have parapodia, some have neither, some have both. You'll see that as we go through each group. Our three main classes, Oligochaeta, oligo or oligo means few, chaeta is bristle. So this would be our group that has earthworms. Polychaeta, poly means many. This would be the group with many bristles, and they are called bristleworms. And then we have class Hirudinea, which has leeches. We're looking at Polychaeta and Hirudinea in the next video. Right now we're focusing on Oligochaeta. In class Oligochaeta, these all are bilaterally symmetrical. They are segmented worms. They do not have fleshy protrusions, so no parapodia, and a couple CT. If you were to look very closely at earthworms, you would see that they do have those little black bristles, but not a lot of them. Respiration occurs through the skin, and there needs to be moisture in order to exchange the gases. Circulatory system is closed. Earthworms and these annelids have 5 aortic arches or hearts, and blood will travel down the dorsal blood vessel. In the picture here runs along the top of the worm, and then the blood returns through the ventral blood vessel, which runs along the belly of the worm. The aortic arches serve as hearts, and these earthworms here have 5. Response. If you were to very carefully dissect an earthworm, you would be able to find that it has a nerve cord and a very simple brain. So we have cerebral ganglia in these worms. The nerves then branch off of the nerve cord. So this is kind of like our spinal cords. We have nerves that branch off of our spinal cord. In terms of feeding and digestion, earthworms, as they burrow, will actually eat soil, and it enters their mouth and then this region called their pharynx. It goes from the pharynx to, if you look here, it goes down to the crop, which is a storage space, and then to the gizzard, which is underneath, and the gizzard grinds, so they both start with G, use that to help you remember. The gizzard grinds up the soil and the organic matter. From there, the material passes out their intestine, the intestine runs the rest of their body, nutrients are absorbed, and then wastes are basically pooped out. Excretion, undigested food, solid material goes through the anus, and now we have something new. We have kidney-like structures called nephridia, and in this picture it's this green area. In our bodies, our kidneys will filter out things from our blood and then concentrate urine as a liquid waste. So in earthworms, they have undigested solid food that comes out as poop through their anus, and then liquids come out the nephridia, which are kind of like kidneys. How they move, they have different muscles. They have circular muscles, which in this picture run along the worm's body this way, around, and then longitudinal muscles run along the long side of the body, so from head to foot if they had feet. Circular muscles, what they do is they squeeze the worm and flatten it out and make it longer. When the worm is stretched out, the longitudinal muscles pull the butt up, and here's the picture that shows that. Circular squeezes, worm flattens, and then the longitudinal muscle will shorten and pull its butt up, and that moves the worm. Now, these are not legs. These are setae, those little bristles in the earthworm. Earthworms and the organisms that belong in Oligochaeta are coelomates, so they have this body cavity between their tissues. Reproduction, They're hermaphrodites, however, even though they have both male and female parts together, they cannot fertilize themselves. Earthworms have this band on them, and the band is called a clitellum, and this section secretes a cocoon for the eggs. The main example of Oligochaeta, there's other organisms that fit in here, but the main example is an earthworm. And please write down why they are important. They aerate the soil or bring oxygen down into it and other gases. They decompose organic matter, and they make soil looser for plant roots. Couple questions. Pause me, see if you can answer these, and then come back for the answers. Oligochaeta means few bristles. The hearts of an earthworm are called aortic arches. A gizzard starts with G, just like grinding up soil and food. Nephridia is for removing wastes, specifically liquid wastes. Now you need to take a quiz and then complete the column on your chart. After that, you're going to be doing an earthworm dissection, so you need to complete the coloring sheet and then give that to me. It won't take me long to correct it before you do the dissection because it'll help you look for certain things. You'll know exactly what you're looking for. Just like with the clam lab, everybody in the group has to answer their own questions, so please no more than 3 people total in a group, including yourself, so 3 max. Answer your own questions. However, I have the dissection packet as a class copy, so you can come get it from me, use it to help you with the lab and answering the questions, and then turn it back in when you're done.